Hi, Namdi, how's it going?
Pretty good.
How was your day?
Yeah, pretty good as
How
well.
was your week?
Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, like it was quite busy week, but
Work and stuff?
yeah, work and stuff. Yeah,
Awesome,
yeah, it was
awesome.
pretty good.
Just getting straight right into it. What biblical principles can you give young Christians like me, like all the youth who are thinking of buying a home and managing debt?
Well, that's a very good question. So I'm just gonna say, like from the onset, right? God is the creator of like the whole universe, right?
Sure.
Yeah, like God owns everything. So
True.
if you read Psalm 24 verse 1, like it says that like the whole world, like earth belongs to God and everything, right?
Yep.
So what it tells us is that God is like the first real estate, like person, right? So like God owns everything. So as Christians, we need to partake in what God owns, right? So we need to have the mindset of ownership. You understand? So like So based on that, like we need to be sure. So like if you're renting a property, like it's good to rent a property.
True.
Don't get me wrong. But if you have the means to own a property, like it's good to also strive to own one.
Okay.
Like I'm partaking the blessing of God because God
Sure.
owns everything.
Everything.
You understand what I mean? Yeah. So regardless, regarding debt management, right? So I think, using the same stuff, like God owns everything and we are the stewards
Okay.
of God, right? So everything we own belongs to God.
Okay.
So, but we are there to manage the resources that God has given us,
Okay.
and this applies to debt as well. So,
Right.
right, so if you have a lot of debts and everything, like you need to find a way to manage your debt very well, because God have put this in your trust.
Okay.
So it's very good for Christians to manage their finances very well.
Okay.
Prioritize some stuff. Like it's not everything that you want that you actually need.
True.
Right? So if you're able to prioritize, then in that way you can actually maybe save up some money, to manage your debts. And also maybe get a mortgage as well, right?
Okay.
And also, because mortgage is actually a very good debt because you're trying to own a property.
I see.
So yeah.
So not everything that is called debt is actually bad or is a negative connotation.
Yeah. So like debt in itself is not bad, right? But the issue is, what are you borrowing the money for? Right. I do see people they borrow money to finance stuff like in like a wedding or that kind of stuff.
I see.
Right? So that's not a good way. You don't borrow to have a very big wedding. You know what I mean? But if you're borrowing from the bank, to own a property that will appreciate in the future, then that's a very reasonable way. So that's good debt.
Awesome.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
My next question now is that as a mortgage broker, how exactly do you handle moments of like failures, loss, or like disappointment in your workspace?
Well, I mean, like, as a mortgage broker or anyone in
general,
like sales or whatever you do in life, right? You are gonna come into situations whereby like there'll be disappointments, there'll be rejections, right?
True.
So for me, like what I try to do in my own point of view is like I try to make sure that I do everything within my control.
Okay.
You understand? So the way I try to avoid being disappointed is, as long as I know that I've done I've done my best, right? So let's say, like I have a client, that wants to buy a property and everything, I do my due diligence, I ask for all the documents, because I've been in situations whereby, like I had clients, they didn't, like they told me something, like during the initial consultation, right? But during closing, I found something else that they didn't tell me, right? So I always tell people, like, if you're working with a mortgage broker, there's some few people you should be very honest with, right? Like your doctor, your lawyer, your mortgage broker, because if you tell me your problem, like maybe this debt is here or there, like I will be able to present it to the lender in a way whereby they can do that. So I've been in that kind of situation, whereby the deal didn't close because the bank found out something they didn't tell me. But it was very disappointing because I put in all the work, for it not to close at the end of the day. So that was very disappointing. But what gave me the assurance is that, I did my part, right? So, there's some things you cannot control. So just do your part, and leave the rest to God.
And next time, do you take that as moving forward as a lesson? Like, okay, when you meet your next client, like, can you tell me everything that is actually going on? Are you sure there's nothing else?
Exactly. So like what I do most times is, I tell my clients, like
in totality.
If there's anything that you think you want to tell me, tell me, because I'll be the person to kind of, arrange your deal in a way whereby like I can explain to the lender. But I don't want surprises, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So like it happens, like you get disappointment in everything you do, but the main thing, what works for me is that I try to do my due diligence.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Finally, the last question I have is, what exactly do you define success from a biblical point of view?
Okay. So from a biblical point of view, the way success is, from biblical point of view, is that success is an outcome. You understand what I mean? So success is an outcome that is not really under our control as human beings.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So basically, for you to get success, there have to be efforts and process. Those efforts are things we can control as human beings, because as human beings, we are very limited in what we can do and what we cannot do. We can control the effort we put into something.
Okay.
The outcome being success, we leave it to God.
Okay.
Right. So for instance, like you have an exam you want to write, right? The effort you put is to prepare. The effort you do is to do all the studies you need to do and everything. But what happens on the examination day is a different issue. So like at that point, that's when you need to, rely on God, to perfect all your efforts, to make it a success. And there will be some times whereby you might even put all the efforts and
still,
it doesn't work out. So you say it's a failure. You say it's a failure, because at that point, all you just need to do is to be very sure that like you put in all the efforts
that is expected for you.
Right? So, so as Christians, it's good to realize that whatever you're doing, the outcome, which is success or failure, is up to God. Like you have to put it in prayers, but as a human being, put in all your efforts.
So there's the need for effort, but at the end of the day, doesn't guarantee success, because there are some factors we cannot necessarily control. And that's where the God factor comes in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Just lastly, before we wrap things up, has there been anything in your life that you feel like you've learned or experienced, or lessons that you feel like you could share that someone could really learn from?
Yeah. So, in my professional life, like a couple of years ago, maybe, during COVID or something, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I was working in a company in Canada, right? So I thought at that point that I was due for promotion.
Okay.
Right. So like I started working, and I felt like I was like a very good engineer at the time.
Okay.
Because they do the rating, like every month they do a rating to know your performance. So I was like in the top 5, top 10.
Oh, wow.
Then there was a promotion that was good. Then like during the promotion, I got skipped. Yeah, and so I now asked my boss, like why? They was like, well, that they don't know, but they just want for somebody else. I was really disappointed. Then at that point, I felt like I wasn't valued, appreciated. Then I now started looking for opportunity elsewhere. Right? Then like maybe 2 months later, then I got a like a different job with a bigger salary and promotion, right? Then I went back to my boss and said, okay, I'm leaving. Then he told me why am I leaving. I said, because this company gave me the opportunity that they didn't want to give me. I was very blunt. I told him, okay, don't worry, that will get back to me. Then he came back again, like the next day, and give me the same promotion. Okay, I don't want to leave. I'm going to give you the same promotion, right?
Yeah.
That you're seeking elsewhere. I said, no. Yeah, it's very too late. Yeah, so I mean, for me, that ties back to the efforts that I was talking about, right? Because you have to, you have to believe in yourself and believe in God too, right? So regarding success, because if you believe in God, and you believe in your ability and you do the right stuff, even if things don't go the way you expect it to go, don't be too hard on yourself. Just wait for the right time, because maybe God is preparing something bigger for you, right? So that's why, I kind of tell, Christians not to, if things are not going the way you want it to go, don't see it as failure. Don't see it as failure. It might just be your success is being delayed for a reason, right? But putting all the effort, believe in yourself, believe in God. Yeah.
And sometimes too, I do feel like it's also times for us to learn something, right?
Yeah.
Because for the bigger picture ahead, there are probably experiences you need to have gone through.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's the reason why you go through those situations. Like maybe, sure, I applied for a job, I didn't get it, but you had an experience of what an interview looks like.
Yeah.
So for the next interview you're going to go for, you're going to be better prepared because you've done one before. So
absolutely.
You don't see anything as a negative connotation in the sense that, I failed and that's just it.
Yeah.
No, I learned something from this.
Yeah.
I'm going to put in better effort and do things better for the next one that I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nnamdi. I really appreciate it. Well, thanks for coming on Certified Christian Chat. It was lovely. It was a good time. Do have a great weekend.
Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Let's do this.